Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to All the Mods Expert Remastered, or at the moment, Expert Remastered. Anyways, since last episode, I have been a busy bee. A very, very busy bee. Pun intended. I have been building. I've started putting on a roof, getting rid of the snow that's here. I did go through, and I got the other Botania flowers that we needed, and I put a little area here so that we have all the Botania flowers, all 16 colors available to us, and it actually fits in nicely, and that's intended. And then behind here I'll do a window. I've actually got a little setup running, and because I've been using so much glass, like stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks of glass. Oh, it looks like it's done. I was putting cobble into this chest. It was going down to the crusher, and then just transfer node into the powered furnace, smelting it, and then making glass. Actually, since I'm here, I'm gonna charge this up. So I was making a bit of glass and whatnot. I do want to make a cobble works in the near future. Maybe once we start getting into AE2, we'll start getting into a cobble works hopefully. But I did get our gendistry stuff moved. This is still very much a work in progress. This building has to connect up to here, and then we're gonna have the elevator come up, and we're gonna have a balcony that kind of overlooks this back end area. This is actually the back of the base. So I haven't actually started on the front yet. I've been meaning to, but I haven't. And I've still got a lot of work to do on this. This is just what I've gotten done so far, and whatnot. But I did build the fourth one of those like curves over there, so it makes a little bit more sense. It looked all lopsided before because I had two and then the space and then one, but that's how it's gonna look. And over here, anyways, back to the gendistry building that I've been working on. I moved up our gendistry stuff. This is just drones, and I need to go through and trash a lot of these. I've just been kind of throwing them in here for the moment. That's filled up, and then this is filling up. And these are apiarist chests, by the way. They're just good ways to store bees. This is pristine queens. Right now I only have 3. I've been breaking a ton of hives. If you look in the ignoble chest, there's all the ignoble bee queens that we have. So if you look right here on the side, 2,124 queens, 2,101 princesses, 8,300 drones. That's not just in... Oh, he's back. I thought he was AFK, but he's on. So I'm on the server right now with Gonryu. So I have been doing a lot of bees while I was building, and then, as far as gendistry stuff, I moved our genetic sampler, our genetic imprinter. I have a little setup here with a hopper furnace that feeds back into the genetic sampler, and that's for smelting the genes off of the blank gene samples. And then I moved our centrifuges up here, and we've got, like, I haven't even been processing half the combs. I need to go grab, like, some combs and get them processing. Just kind of processing as I need them. I'm good on honey. I'm good on honeydew, all that stuff. Over here I've got templates, and this, I have 3 templates at the moment. That's the only ones I've bothered to make so far. So we've got a genetic template for Imperial bees, and I have a genetic template for industrious bees. That's because I made a few more of those than the other breeds, so I made templates just to make it a bit quicker. That way I can just turn like a Meadows pristine queen into industrious or Imperial. And then over here in the genetic imprinter, I'm actually very, very happy with the genes I have on this. So, like, these are just for setting species. So if I want to change a queen, say I have a Meadows queen, what I'll do is, say I have a Meadows queen, I want to make her an Imperial queen. I'll run her through with the Imperial genetic template, and then I'll run her through again with this template. And this is the one that had our stats on it. So I've actually done a bit of upgrading to this. This now has fast flowering, fast speed. The flowers, I just have it set to flowers, so I don't have things that want snow or cactus or something like that. It's just flowers. Lifespan is shortest. Effect is beatific. And fertility is 4. Beatific actually came... I have been turning in quests, just as a heads up, since last episode. So if we open this up, I haven't been turning in all of them, but my bee-related ones I have been turning in. You can see that we have all the bees from the quest book. It's super easy with gendistry. It's super, super easy. And I'll take you over to the bee area. I haven't got it moved over yet because we don't have alvearies or industrial apiaries at the moment. But these quests give you a choice between queens, or princesses, I mean. So For the Imperial Quest, I actually took the Imperial Princess, and I didn't actually use her for Imperial. I immediately changed over to Industrious, because I already had my 4 Imperial Princesses. I just bred them with other bees. But anyways, that came with the effect of Beatific. And what that does, I went ahead and changed over, I was doing effect none, or I had effect none. I didn't have it on the genetic template. But effect Beatific, I finally got the gene isolated and got that as a genetic sample. And what that does is bees that have Beatific, players in the area get regen. So it's really, really nice effect, right? So all of our bees, well, not all of our bees, I actually just got that gene. Just a couple industrious bees right now have Beatific, but before long, we'll change them all over. We'll have Beatific on all of our bees, so we'll have a regen anytime we're near our bees, which is great. And then over here, you'll see a bunch of gold chests. I made so many gold chests between last episode and this one. So many gold chests. But this is for gene sorting, just so it's a little bit easier to find the gene that I want. So I have lifespan, production, fertility, species, flowers, effect, flowering, temperature, humidity, and territory. And so, for example, if you look in species, these are all just bee sample species. That way everything's kind of nicely sorted, and it's easy. If I want to make a new genetic template, I can come over here and say, I want fertility. That's all fertility for. I haven't made any other genetic templates. I mean, eventually we might make some other ones, but right now the ones that I've got, I'm happy with, and I haven't got fastest production or anything like that yet. Also, we do have a couple quests here to complete. The Majestic unlocked this little tree here. So maximum fertility, we get 8 genetics labwares, and then genetic templates, we get either fertility 4 or lifespan shortest. It really doesn't matter. I'll take lifespan. Oh, we get both of them. My bad. And then we get 8 blank gene samples or 4 genetics labware. I'm going to take the 8 blank gene samples. These do require a diamond, but these are one at a time to craft them, so they're a bit more expensive. And oh, I did do a bit of mining too, so we have a few diamonds. I think around 17 or something like that now. I did have to make a lot of, well, not a lot of genetics labware, but I did have to make quite a bit of genetics labware between last episode and this one. Okay, so let's pop over to the bee area, and I'll show you. It's expanded from what we had last episode. It has expanded quite a bit, and it's really, I've really just been doing what I showed you last episode. It's the same process, just messing with gendustry. So over here, you'll notice there's flowers everywhere. What I have, and I will say these lower tier bees, like the common and stuff, I do have these automated, like noble. These will probably end up getting, later on, once we have access to other bees, once we unlock better bees, I'll probably trash like noble and common, because really the only thing we need out of all these bee breeds, I think it's like Imperial and Industrious, because everything else is being produced by those bees pretty much. But anyways, if you look in the noble, I have just dedicated gold chests for each breed. Now over here, you'll notice there's 4 apiaries plugged up to each chest. This is our Industrious and our Imperial bees. But if I come over here, you'll notice that when I get near these 2 hives, sometimes it takes a second. There we go. I have regen. That's because these are our Beatific Industrious bees. So, but these have been running for a while. So noble, this is what we've got. We got a lot of drones. I'm probably going to end up changing these over to longest lifespan for our producing bees once we have longest lifespan. And then over here we have common, we have cultivated, unweary, diligent, majestic. Oh, there's a random noble. That's probably because I did automate the majestic before I had before this princess was totally isolated. So she did probably make a noble bee. That's fine. It's just going to get trashed. Honestly. I'll just throw it into there. And then over here we have our Imperial drones, which are making our royal jelly, which is what we need. And actually we have a quest for this. I'm going to go ahead and grab a stack of that royal jelly. And then over here we have our Industrious, which haven't been running that long. The reason these drones are separated, these are the ones that have Beatific. These are the ones that don't have the Beatific. So I'm just kind of isolating that, and then I'm going to move, once I have a number of these Industrious drones, I'm probably just going to, I'm Honestly, I may just take them over there and run them through the genetic thing. I could just throw the drones into here, like a stack of drones here, and by the time she runs through those, she's going to have Beatific, and then same over here, but I don't know. I could do it either way. But these I just recently set up. You'll notice the drones don't have a whole lot built up. These other ones, quite a bit more. These are the ones that don't have Beatific. So, but we do need to grab some pollen clusters as well. And our quests here, they want us to get a stack of royal jelly, manual detect, and that's done. And then pollen cluster, they actually want us to produce a stack according to the text here, but the quest only requires one. So we'll turn that in. And then now we have a quest for scented paneling, combining royal jelly, pollen cluster, 2 wax, and 3 planks in a carpenter with liquid honey. Honey is made by processing honey drops of honeydew or honeydew in a squeezer. That's what it's supposed to be. Okay, but we are not going to do that just yet. I'm actually going to put this stuff back for the time being and just let those continue running. So to make our industrial apiary, we are going to need alveary blocks, which these we can craft. Impregnated casings, we've made those. Scented paneling, that's the recipe for that. And then there's what we need, wildwood bark, okay, because we don't have wildwood. We haven't started roots yet. And so that's what I want to turn our attention towards today, because we need that to make the alveary blocks. We also need it to make the glowing wildwood bark symbols. And these require otherworld leaves. Okay. That's not too far in, so what we'll probably do, we probably won't even mess with the alvearies themselves. We'll probably just go straight for industrial apiaries. It's kind of what I'm thinking. So currently, like, what we're wanting to do, our main objectives at the moment, is starting AE2, getting into blood magic, because I need that for certain things that I want to get, namely the teleposer blocks. So we have to get up to like tier 4 blood magic. It's a ways off, all things considered, but we are working towards that. And then also working with our bees and something else I can't recall. I remembered it before, but... Oh, and then working with our power system down below as we need to. I mean, that's something, the way it's set up right now, it produces so much power that I don't have to run it full throttle, so I've still got it turned off. I mean, because we've got so much creosote, I've got to let it run through that creosote a bit. Because we're just not using as much power as we're producing. So I'm not plugging everything up until we get to that point. So today we're going to start working towards roots, and I'm actually glad it's hitting nighttime, because what I want to make is, what is it, runestone? Yeah. This stuff right here in the luminous crafting table requires marble, binder composite, and sooty marble. So we're going to need to make ourselves some grout, and I actually meant to prep this before this episode. Let me get the binder composite together. Oh, and I have no sand. Whoops. Let me, we are going to be making a sand, like an automatic sand generator soon, because we're going to need it for AE2. So I definitely want to get that set up here pretty quick. Okay, there we go. I'm just going to go ahead and make what we can for the time being. So there's quite a bit of grout. And then for the actual binder composites, it's just slime balls. Lots and lots of slime balls. There's a zombie. Sometimes I have pests dropping in. It's not too common. I've been lighting the area up, but I still have that front section that's like open. And so sometimes zombies drop in. It's not really a big concern because our sword's good enough. We knock them down. Okay, there's a bunch of binder composite. That's more than what we're going to need. And then I just need sooty marble. And let me actually empty out our inventory here. And then we're going to need some marble. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and make a little bit more of that sooty marble. So I've actually got a decent amount of marble now. From going around and breaking those buildings, we're doing all right on marble. So, okay. And I haven't started building. I'm actually planning on, between this episode and next, starting to work on our astral sorcery building. I was just trying to get some of this stuff done. So I will start on that. Let's see. For the runestone, what exactly was it? The sooty marble's in the corners. Okay. So I'm just going to make what we can. We're going to need a lot of this runestone, so there's not too much problem with making a bit of it. And Then we'll just smack it. And... there we go. This is going to take a minute. It's going to take the majority of the night, I think, to, like, craft these. Yeah, because it's already past midnight. So I'll be back in a minute once I get this runestone crafted up. Oh, this is actually making... Oh, that's... Okay. It does a few crafts at a time. My bad. Well, there we go. Okay, so we've got nearly 2 stacks of runestone. That'll be alright for the time being. So, it's not like waiting until night again is that big of a deal. Okay, so now that we've got that, the first thing that I want to make is the Runic Tablet. This is like the book. Oh, this doesn't even take runestone. That's fine. Clean. I need to clean this out so bad. My backpack gets so bad. Like, it really, really does. Alright, so for the Runic Tablet, we're going to need 3 seeds, some stone, and an old root. And actually, is there a quest? I think there's a quest for... Yeah, Astral Beginnings. Make runestone, we're going to get 4 runestone. Okay. Alright, well that's done. But roots and astral sorcery kind of go hand in hand within this pack. So, let's see. Piece of smooth stone. We're going to need 3 seeds, and then we're going to need... where did I put the roots? Is it on the other side? Yeah, it's right here. Okay. How many of these do I have? 69 of them. I do have a couple verdant sprigs. I'm bad about... one thing I kind of wish with roots is whenever you right-click to harvest so it doesn't break the crop, you don't get these sprigs. So you're actually going to have to break the crop. So the only reason I have 2 of those is because we deleted all the worms, because worms cause so much lag, and it was mainly the ones that, you know, weren't being used anymore. Like I had some here in the front that I need to get rid of. And so those are gone. And then I broke the crops and replaced the worms, and that's why I had a couple verdant sprigs. Alright, so stone, the root, and then our 3 seeds gets us our Runic Tablet. And there we go. Who needs pages? And anyways, this is like the book for the mod. Okay? So everything that we do within roots is covered within here, and there's little tabs. I'm not going to go through all the tabs, and you can read through them if you're interested. I've read through it a number of times, so... I actually have a tutorial, a mod tutorial for roots. It's a few episodes, but it covers all the ins and outs of roots. And I am planning on doing some sprites up there, just for decor. I love the way the sprites look with the roots. I love roots. It's a good mod. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is, I guess, to get the Wildwood, we're going to have to set up our ritual altar thing. The thing. So what we're going to need to do is we are going to have to make ourselves a, let's see, casting altar, incense braziers. We're also going to have to make some mundane standing stones. What all do we need for the Wildwood, the conjuring? Okay, it's just 8 mundane stones. That first layer there is mundane stones. If you look at, say, the like sacrifice, you can see there's more stones there. Those are the advanced ones, which we'll get into later. So, but we're going to be making mundane standing stones. And we're going to need 8 of these things. And, okay, these require Illumination Powder. So we are going to have to get a little bit farther into Astral Sorcery before we can actually make that. But it's really not too far. Illumination Powder is, I don't think it's very expensive, unless it's, yeah, see, 16, 4 glowstone, aquamarine, it's daytime now. Of course it is. Of course it's daytime now. Okay, well, let's take a look at the other stuff, because there's other things that we're going to need, like the casting altar, block of gold, 2 verdant sprigs, a poppy, runestone, and then a runestone symbol, which is just runestone with flint. Okay, we can do that. We can go ahead and get started on part of this right now. Then we'll get our runestone symbol and our casting altar. Ba-bam! Another original block achievement. And then we're going to need some incense braziers. These require ember lanterns, which are very easy to craft. Let's see. I'll probably use the ember shard recipe. And we are going to need a few of these. I can't remember, because we're going to have to look at the incense that we need. I think it's all 4. Yeah, it's all 4. We're going to need oak bark, spruce bark, jungle bark, and acacia bark. Ooh, I might have to go... maybe find some trees. I am going to need more verdant sprigs, as you can tell, but anyways, we'll go ahead and get our Incense Braziers. So, iron plates, yeah. We're also going to need a piece of string. You know what? I have one piece of string. Yeah, I'm going to need more than that. I knew I was getting low because I came over here to make wool. I do have wool right here, though. If we run this through the crusher. Okay, we get all 4 pieces back. That'll be good. So we'll get that going, and then we're going to need, oh yeah, iron plates. I'm just going to make 4 of them. I may actually have some lying around. I'm not for sure, but yeah, we'll just go ahead and make some new ones. There we go. We do have more to do in Embers. I don't know if it's actually needed for progression, but we will be doing more in Embers. Ember lanterns. There's our 8 Ember lanterns. Well, actually, I guess I only need 1 craft of that. But I'm going to go ahead and make 8. Because when it comes to laying that out, if I recall, there's actually some rituals that take a bit more of them. But I also want 8 for decor purposes. But maybe more, but I don't know. There's 8 of them anyways. So that part's done. We have our 8 Incense Braziers, and we have our casting altar. Okay, so it's like midday right now. I'm going to go ahead and get the stuff together to make that Illumination Powder. Okay, I've got the stuff to make a stack of Illumination Powder. I think that'll be good to start with. So now I just have to wait until night. So I'll be back in just a minute once night hits, and we'll get that crafted up. And by the way, it's daytime right now. You can see we've got a little bit of starlight in here, but if you notice, there's a little blue bar right there. And that's how much it takes to craft what we're wanting to craft in this case, which is, you know, that Illumination Powder. We would have to get the starlight to this point. So if I pull that out, you see it goes away. The starlight does tend to shift a bit during the day and at night too. It depends on where the moon's at, where the stars are at, and all that. But it's possible you could craft this during the day. Probably if we had our Astral Sorcery area set up and we were actually over there where we have that like starlight boost, we could probably craft Illumination Powder during the day. But over here we're just shy of it. So okay, the sun's starting to go down, but we have enough altar power to craft this. So there we go. Actually, I believe, if I recall, the more altar power you have, like that's like right in there is about where what it took to craft. And I think if it was like higher, we could craft 2 at a time. I think if I recall correctly, I think that's the way it works. Astral Sorcery is one of those mods. I haven't had a whole lot of opportunity to go really crazy with it, aside from in like test worlds. So, but I believe that's how it works. It'll craft based on how much altar power is in there. So, all right. So we got our Illumination Powder. And if we take a look in here, that quest is done. They're going to give us 8 more. Woot. And then they want us to make 6 Mundane Standing Stones. We're going to be making 8 of them because our ritual requires it. So, alright. So now we get to get into the meat of roots, the fun of roots, and all that good stuff. Let me go ahead and dump that stuff. Okay, so what we're going to need to do is, first up, we're going to need to make ourselves a bark knife. This is just 3 saplings and a stick. Let me go ahead and grab that. There we go. We got our bark knife. And then what we need to do is we need to scrape bark off of trees. Okay, now I've got oak down here. What all do we need exactly? Which 4 is it? Oak, spruce, jungle, and acacia. Jungle and oak, not a problem. Spruce... I can't remember if I have spruce or not. But anyways, what we can do is we can just right click this and eventually, actually let me start from the top. You'll see that it breaks the tree. So, or the log. Okay, these can either be like natural logs or they can be just placed down. It's fine. Alright, so there's 24 oak bark. That's way more than what we're going to need. I just figured I'd go ahead and cut down a tree. And we'll go ahead and replant that. Okay, so now I need to go get a bit of jungle. Is it nighttime? It is nighttime. Let me go ahead and sleep real quick. Okay, and we'll just go get some of these limbs that are up here. Oops. Okay, so there's a bit of jungle bark. I'll get like a little bit more. There's 9 pieces. Alright, and so then we need birch. And spruce, right? Well, there's spruce. Is that spruce? Yeah, that's spruce. Alright, so there's 14 spruce bark, and then it was birch, right? Where did my Runic Tablet go? Uh-oh, did I drop it? Did I drop the Runic Tablet? Oh, it's acacia. That is... Oh, I know we could make it with Botania. I haven't really come across acacia saplings that I know of. And alchemy catalyst requires blood mat. Of course it does. Let me see here. I'll tell you what though, I imagine other people do. So I'm gonna go see if I can find somebody that's got, I mean, I'm not gonna take like somebody's last acacia sapling, but if somebody has a fair few of those, I may snag one. Okay, Wega had one. So I snagged his. He had more than one. He had 5. I will replace it, though. His sapling. Just in case, because 5's not a whole lot. And I'll be sure and get those replaced right after this episode. So I don't think he will mind too much. Are you ever going to grow? There we go. About time. Okay. It's kind of nice having a little outdoor area that's not, at least not swarming with mobs. There are still mobs that come through on occasion. I'm going to go ahead and just run this bark knife out. Okay, and we've got our acacia bark. And let me go ahead and cut down this. Yeah, I got 4 acacia saplings. That'll be good. Let me go dump my backpack out. Okay, and I'll just swing by there after this episode and replace that for him. And by the way, we'll be doing a server tour at episode 25. That's the plan for episode 25. Is we're just going to go around and kind of look at everybody's bases and see where everyone's at as far as progress and stuff like that. So just a heads up. But now that we've got our bark, and we've got our... Oh yeah, we didn't make our mundane standing stones, did we? I got ahead of myself a little bit. So that is aquamarine and runestones. And we're going to need 8 of these. So let me pop down here. I think I've got enough aquamarine. If not, it's not really a big deal to run around and get it. Yeah, I've got enough. Okay, so mundane standing stone. Oh, it's luminous craft. Of course it is. Of course it is. That's fine. It's not a problem. Alright, so aquamarine in the middle, and then it is runestones. And the illumination powder goes like that. Runestones like that. And there we go. And we can actually craft it right now. Let me get our resonating wand. And I'll get this going. By the way, you'll notice, like, it does recharge back up after you craft. It takes a second, like a split second. It's not very long. Actually, you know what? I just realized, before we craft that, the quest book gives us 2. So we actually only need to craft 6 of these. And then we'll get the other 2 from the quest book. I actually just thought about that. I was sitting here thinking, like, why in the world do they want us crafting just 6 of them? And because you need 8 to do, like, anything. And then I was like, oh, maybe the quest book. There we go. So there is our mundane standing stone. So let's set this up. And if you look inside the Runic Tablet, it'll show you, like, the layout pretty much of what we want to do. And this is pretty much the same. Like, if you were to look at, say, the sacrifice, the mundane standing stones and the casting altar are still in the same place. It's just a little bit larger because it has the improved, the enhanced standing stones. So, alright, so what we're going to do, let's find where we want to place this. And I'm planning on putting it, like, right up here. Like, that's what this outdoors area is for like, Botania, bees, roots, maybe a little bit of astral sorcery. Most of that's going to be over at our building, but we'll probably have some astral sorcery stuff up here. Just little things like that. Okay, I think we're going to put our casting altar right here. Okay, I was trying to find a good spot for it. And then our mundane standing stones, we're going to come out 2 from that. And then 2 blocks between, and put our mundane standing stone right there. 2 blocks, put one right there. 2 blocks, put one right there. And then 2 blocks, and put one right there. Let me move that. It's not going to be torches forever, but for right now, like, it's torches. And then all we have to do is come to the corners, and, you know, 2 blocks from that, 2 blocks from that. There we go. Right over here, and right over here. Okay, so that's done. That's laid out. And then we're going to need to do our Incense Braziers. And what we're going to do is we are going to set these up. I guess we're going to have them like right here for right now. This will change once we get the enhanced standing stones, but we'll just put them along the back sides there. So, alright. And then what we need to do is we need to set up for our ritual. So if we take a look at the Wildwood Ritual, we are going to need incense. This is the incense bar. This tells you what is all incense, what goes in the incense braziers, and it's cooked. Oak bark, spruce bark, jungle bark, acacia bark. We've got that. Then we're also going to need a verdant sprig, a glowstone, and some vines. And question, do I have shears on me? I do not. Let me just grab these Botania ones. That's fine. Right here. And I'm going to fly out and get some vines real quick. Easy enough. We'll just grab a bit of these. There's 8. That'll be good for right now. And then we're also going to need a verdant sprig. And basically the way you harvest these is you have to break crops and actually break them. And if I recall, they can come from Pam's Harvest Craft. I'm going to go break carrots instead. They're a little bit easier to deal with. These I have to turn them back into seeds and all that mess, and that's no fun. So we are all set now. One, that's fine. That's fine. And then I'm going to need in addition, oh yeah, glowstone, and then I'm going to need a bunch of wood. Let me pop over here. And do I have a flint and steel on me? Or do I need to make one of those? Okay, I guess I need to make one. I think I've got one, and I think it's in the tools. Yeah. Okay. There we go. And then let's just pop down here. We're going to grab a couple stacks of oak. It's fine. Any kind of wood works. Okay. And actually, before we start, I'm going to dump this stuff into here. And I'll tell you what, let me actually get 4 stacks of oak. Because the nice thing is, well, no, I'm not going to worry about it. One thing you can do, because I'm going to have to get another verdant sprig, and I don't really need to. I'm not worried about it. Because the main thing we're going to be saving if we did it this way is on the bark, and we've got plenty of the bark. Bark's easy to get. What you can do, just as a heads up, whenever you do the rituals within roots, if you're quick about it, what you can do is, when you activate it, it's going to consume the items in the casting altar, and you have the incenses burning. Well, what you can do is you can replace the items on the casting altar and do another ritual of the same type, that uses the same incense. You can use that same incense when it's burning for like 3, sometimes 4 rituals. So you can save on bark if you're like mass producing, but I'm not that worried about it at the moment. So what we're going to do is we're going to take all of our oak, and we're going to place this out in a 5x5 around our altar. So, like, centered on the altar. And we need to make sure that we have room, to get in here and everything, but we're going to make just a big pile of oak. And you can go below the, just right click, not shift right click. You can go below the, altar as well, if you so desire, but I'm not that worried about it. This ritual is super cheap and easy to do, so we'll just build this out. And for the record, if you want to kind of like semi-automate this, or even, I guess you could fully automate it if you so desired, the builder block from RF Tools is perfect for filling in these with logs and stuff. So, alright, but that's enough. That's enough for me. I'm not min-maxing it. I'm not going to break out the floor just to put some more oak. Like I said, it's cheap enough. Fairly cheap. Alright, so then what we're going to do is we're going to take our incenses, and we're going to place these down, and we're going to put one in each of these braziers. And then, before we light those, let's go ahead and put in our items into our altar. So what we'll do is, right here, just right-click, verdant sprig, glowstone, vines. And then what we can do, we'll take our flint and steel, and we're just going to light these 4 braziers on the back that have our incense. And you'll notice they start smoking, and that means the incense is burning. And then if we were to pop down in here, oh, I was trying to actually break that. We'll get 3 more logs, like that. And then all we have to do is just with an empty hand, shift right click the altar. And I guess technically we could probably do that. And there we go. You'll notice all of our oak converted over to wildwood logs. So, woot. And then we can just take and break this. And like I said, I mean, you can see the incense is still burning. You could replace the logs down, throw the 3 items back in the casting altar, and perform the ritual again using just 1 batch of incense. But I'm not going to. No, not that worried about it. So, all right. And then if we open up our book here, get wildwood bark. Oh yeah, we have to actually make this, don't we? Wildwood bark is 4 wildwood logs. There's our wildwood bark, and we can turn this quest in. They're going to give us the 4 barks that we used as incense, and then also we get to pick one of these. I'm going to take Verdant Sprig. And it doesn't think I have enough inventory, even though that stuff's going to stack. I'll get the backpack cleaned out between episodes. I've just been so busy working with bees and running around, and I just haven't kept up on it at all. So, alright, there we go. And we got our wildwood bark. So that quest is done, and we could actually knock this stuff out. Let's see, Astral Beginnings. Yeah, I think that's all the routes that's in the quest book. There's a lot more routes that we're going to have to do, though. Because we have to get into, to actually make the industrial apiaries, we're going to have to get into sprites. To make these glowing wildwood symbols, otherworld leaves, we're going to have to do that. But let's go ahead and get this quest right here. These 2 quests right here. I want to go ahead and knock these out. I'm not going to worry about the short mead and the mutation frame because they're really not that important. I don't feel like. But let's get, I'm going to need this oak wood. To make the alveary block, we're going to need 4 of these impregnated casings, which is that seed oil. Not a problem. Not a problem at all. Let me pop over here and go ahead and start making those impregnated casings for us. And then we are going to need that royal jelly, and I actually should have brought it back with me. What did I do with my glider? Let me go grab that royal jelly and our pollen clusters real quick, and then it's pretty simple. We're honestly at a point now where it's pretty simple to make alveary blocks. And then once we get into sprites, it's going to be super easy to make industrial apiaries. Because they're really not that expensive. You just have to get a little bit of progression under your belt to be able to do it. Alright, so pollen clusters and royal jelly. And then let's head on back. You'll notice I still have 9 apiaries. Like, I didn't use nearly the 24 that they want us to craft. I know I crafted 1 extra, but even still, like, 24 apiaries was a bit overkill, I feel like. I mean, I could make more industrious and imperial bees if I wanted to. And I mean, we are still going to be doing a bit of mutating, but that's going to be a little bit later on because we're going to have industrial apiaries for that. Alright, so we've got that stuff. Let's pop over here. We're going to have to process some honey in a squeezer. And I've actually got one right here. Where is my portable analyzer? I'll just go ahead and take that 44 honey. It's not a big deal. I'll throw it in there. It's going to start squeezing that honey and producing liquid honey for us. So to make the alveary blocks, these craft 4 at a time, which is awesome. Just 1 scented paneling. We're going to need 500 millibuckets of honey, pollen cluster, royal jelly, and I'm just going to go ahead and put this stuff into here. So pollen cluster, royal jelly. We're going to need that beeswax, which I've got some up here. It's not a problem to go grab. And that, of course, you get from processing honeycombs in the centrifuges. So I'll just go ahead and grab all of it. Because the main thing we're going to be doing with that honey carpenter is making alveary blocks. Or scented paneling. So beeswax right there. And then all we need to do is get ourselves some planks. Let me run and grab those, actually. And that is pretty much it. Now we just need the liquid honey. I believe that's right? Beeswax, pollen, royal jelly. Okay, and then we've got, that honey builds up crazy fast. Like, look at that, 3,700 millibuckets. We'll just go ahead and dump that into there, and now it's making us some scented paneling. So, we've got the stuff in here. It's going to make like 6 of them, which, I mean, you're talking about 24 alveary blocks, and I've got, oh, I actually ran through all that honey. But still, I've got plenty of honeycombs. As you saw over there, I've got tons of the things. Alright, so there is our first scented paneling, and we'll go ahead and turn that quest in. Manual detect. We don't get any rewards for these. It would be nice, but we don't get any. And then they want us to make an alveary, 4 impregnated casings, and that is right here. There we go. I'm going to put those 2 extra just into there. And there is our very first alveary block. Oops. And that quest is completed. So the only thing here that we haven't done yet is the short meat and the mutating frame. We will do that. It's not, if you look at mutating frame, it's not that crazy to have to do it. Or it's not really that involved. Honestly, I might even do it between episodes. Royal jelly, impregnated frame, which of course we've made those. Some soul sand with a bit of short mead produces you the mutating frame. Short mead is in the fermenter, 500 honey, and then you need compost, fertilizer, or mulch with some honeydew. You get 500 short mead. It's that simple. So, and I've actually already got the fermenter right here for that. So that's why I made that second one. And that's all there is to it. Make short mead, make mutating frames. Mutating frames are nice. If you notice the mutation rate is 3 times, they're going to mutate bees a lot easier. But since we're going to be doing industrial apiaries, we don't really need frames. So, you know, I'll make one for the quest just off camera. What 8 solidified experience and then just a random enchanted book. Oh, that's actually a good idea though. Apparently this enchanted book is probably going to be mending from reading this, and you do 3 of these, and then the princess that has a maximum 4 times fertility rating. You pretty much guarantees you a pure or hybrid of the new species you're trying to breed. You can repair these frames by enchanting them with mending or putting them in your main hand or offhand shield slot and then gaining experience. That's actually not a bad idea. So I will probably make one of those just off camera. That way, when we get into some of the advanced bees, we can throw them in an apiary with 3 of those and just go straight for our new breed that we're aiming for. So. But anyways, we got the alveary block knocked out. Now, like I said, I do want to make the industrial apiaries. I don't even want to bother with the alvearies within this pack. I'm going to be using them in Farming Valley once we get... Bees are really expensive to get into in Farming Valley, but very, very expensive. These are 4 alveary blocks, so 1 craft of that. An apiary, the bee receptacle, which straightforward, intricate circuit board, super cheap, and then that glowing wildwood bark symbol, which is with flint, and then we have to do an otherworld leaf. We'll get into that next episode. I think I want to go ahead and focus down the industrial apiaries because they're going to make our life within bees a lot better, truth be told. So plus we're getting roots kind of knocked out of the way because honestly this is going to cover the majority of roots. Now that we're getting into sprites and stuff, I think it's going to be the majority of roots that we need to do within this pack. Which will be nice, and it's going to give us access to pretty much all the decorative blocks that I want to use from roots. So I never replaced that torch. Anyways, I am going to end out this episode here. We made pretty good progress. Next episode, hey buddy, I don't know where they come from. They come through there and they just fall down and just kind of wander around in my pit sometimes. But next episode, we are going to do a bit more roots. We're going to maybe start getting into... I have to double check and make sure that everything that we need we can do right now, which I think we can. But I want to start getting into sprites so that we can get our otherworld leaves and, you know, have access to those, which will be good. So next episode, that will be our focus. Get our industrial apiaries, get a few of those, and then we are going to set them up and get some upgrades with them and kind of cover those. Which those things, I mean, they're way more powerful than the standard apiary. You can do some really good upgrades, kind of like the frames, but better, and they don't have durability. So, awesome. So that's the plan for next episode. We'll start getting into that and kind of come full circle with our bees. We will still do more bees kind of in the background because there's a lot of bees and bee produce and stuff that we could get. You know, we could even automate our ores or our metals and stuff with bees if we so desired. So we will be doing some of that stuff in the background. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay up to date with when new videos come out. And, of course, if you guys have any questions about what we covered or, Minecraft questions or anything, let me know, and I'll do my best to get those answered for you. And until next time, as always, do take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys next time.